court hearing to unseal the Trump raid affidavit has been scheduled for Thursday. This follows growing calls from multiple members of the media for transparency from the DOJ. The department has faced myriad backlash over what many are calling an abuse of power and a course that has recently placed us on a permanent division course in the country. My next guest has experience with what he alleges is the very corruption at the FBI that America has witnessed over the past few years. Details he's going to lay out in his latest book, Political Prisoner. He's former campaign chair for President Trump, Paul Manafort. Mr. Manafort, welcome back to the Salcedo Show. You know, the Department of Justice says releasing the affidavit would, quote, compromise future investigations. But this entire raid, they broke protocol. No cameras, no attorneys were allowed at the search. We're now learning they illegally seized Trump's passports and other documents they weren't entitled to. But we're expected to take that. That's an honest mistake. Mr. Manafort, do you like the idea of an FBI and DOJ that don't follow the law but expects the rest of us to?
Well, I was punished by an FBI that did that and a DOJ that did that. And in fact, you know, the affidavit is the key to the whole document, the whole search. Not because it's going to prove that the search was justified, but it's going to expose the corruption. That's why it's not going to get released unless the judge rules in a way that I'm not expecting. You know, there's a track record. Carter Page took 4 FISA applications. Finally put surveillance on Carter Page in the Trump campaign in 2016. The fourth one was the one in which Kevin Kleinsmith, an FBI agent, forged information or lied on the application, changed things around so that it would be a more compelling presentation for the search. We now know that there was no basis for that affidavit being changed and that the 3 FISA applications that have been rejected were the right things to happen to them. We are in uncharted territory right now, going after former presidents and potential future candidates. James Comey, I don't usually quote him, even he said, and when dealing with the Hillary Clinton case, which was not dissimilar to this, said that there was no basis for the justice to go any further in going after Hillary Clinton. But that's the part of the two-tiered system that we have in this country, and that's why we need to bring change, because unfortunately, what originally was focusing on people like me to go after people like President Trump is now starting to change, spread even further in the Department of Justice, where they're now going after parents at school board meetings, victims of crimes, et cetera. And so Americans who don't buy into their philosophy are the ones who are now at risk, and 87,000 new IRS agents are going to carry that tune forward. There's no question. So it sounds like it's just a legal issue, but it's not. It's an important issue.
Well, President Trump called out the FBI over illegally taking his passports, writing on Truth Social, quote, "This is an assault on political opponents at a level never seen before in our country. Third world." He's predicting major Republican midterm victories because Americans are angry over the very evident two-tier justice system. The Democrats' ploy actually blow up in their face, or do they care at this point?
Oh, they care, and that's why they're going to take it to the extreme if there's any extreme beyond where they are right now. I mean, they know that the American people are going to reject them resoundingly in November, and they're doing everything they can to make this election in November about the caricature of Trump that they're trying to draw. But what they continue to do is refuse to understand that their game has been exposed. The American people get it, and to think that January 6th was rejected as a basis for people to vote on this November. Inflation, energy independence, victims, crime, borders that have no security. Those are the issues that the American people are going to be voting on. And that's why the Democrats are desperate to change the agenda. And, you know, they get their little signing today at the White House, but it's another lie. I mean, like zero inflation of last week, this new Bill Biden and the White House.
No, it's nothing but lies. That's absolutely sure. You know, last week, analyst Mark Halperin expressed the chaos the Biden regime may soon impose over their unjustified raid. I want you to take a listen to this.
In a normal case, the Justice Department would do its speaking in court and not say a word about what happened. This is not a normal case. And if they were so dumb and ignorant about America to assume that they could treat this as business as usual and not begin what I think amounts to a civil war, they're making a big mistake.
Mr. Manafort, this
Yeah,
is a
Chris, I
stark
guess
observation from someone who isn't a doctrinaire conservative. What do you think? What do you think about Mark Halperin saying that the Department of Justice and everybody underneath them may have set this country on a course for a civil war? And I'm going to ask an addendum to this question. Do you think it's what they're after?
Well, I think they're prepared for a civil war because they realize that they can't win at the ballot box, and so to them, challenging the framework and the fabric of our democracy is a small price to pay for them continuing to have power, but it's not going to work, and unfortunately, the DOJ and the FBI have become part of that weaponization by the Biden administration and the Democratic Congress, but it's not going to work.
Paul Manafort, thank you very much. Appreciate your time here on the Salcedo Show.